You know, Inkabi is 5,000 rand ukubulala umuntu. Inkabi. It's even cheaper to get a girl to come and act and say you did something wrong. And your credibility. I've seen it with so many people. And we don't know if they're innocent or not. We don't know. I don't even know what to say. I think I was a bit nervous about today's episode because we haven't been in a while. The nice thing though is it almost feels like we never left. To all our virtual squatters, to all our hustlers, a very great afternoon in 2023. And I've got a silly, very silly guest that's here today, coming all the way from the United States of America. You know, and I actually wanted to cue, every time someone travels outside of the country, I think of like queuing when they come back. I don't even want to look at this person. I'm hoping when they do this and they edit, like Uvela afterwards. DJ Sbu.
How you doing? I'm saying, yo, mean, how you, man?
Yo, what's up, homie?
What's up, man? Missed you, bro. Missed you, man.
Sbuda, welcome back home, bro.
Ngiyabonga uthina Sbuda. Ukrend jayam enengikhumbulile yo. Oh, social media, ne? Good to see you. Good to see you. No, I'm good. It's good to be back. Yes.
Welcome home. Welcome home.
How you doing, bro?
No, I'm good, bro. We've missed you so much. Okay, I guess before we carry on, for those that are watching, as you always know, if it's the first time watching, if you've never done it before, you go down to the subscription button and you click. And as you know, he always says, click, 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 click. And then you go to the notification bell and you click. We love all our virtual squatters. We love all our hustlers. We love all our paying members. We've missed you guys, and we've missed Unchebe, Usonchebe, Lana Usbuda. Jeez, bro, welcome back. Everywhere I go in the streets, Opusbuda, Ubuyanini. The one thing that's touched me, and look, obviously I'm now on the other side because I was hugely motivated and inspired by you before we sat down. Today I meet people and I believe it's your energy. Fethu, umsebenzi enwenzayo noSbuda niyasikhuthaza bafethu. Siyabonga, please keep pushing. We've started YouTube channels. Singene ko TikTok, mfethu ngiqale lento ye-crypto. Fethu yazi nami sengenza lento yaSbuda. Fethu, thank you so much for coming back and yeah, welcome home, man. Jeez.
Congratulations to you, man. I've been keeping in touch with you online over the past couple of months. Thank you for not leaving our virtual squatters hungry with content. You've been delivering some amazing content. I never knew the power of the internet up until I started traveling the US.
Yeah.
A lot of the shows, a lot of the shows that I was doing, people were asking me about Nota. People are asking me about Penyo. I'm like, am I in America? Like I'm being asked by, like, people are asking about you, bro.
That's dope.
Other people are even saying, we thought you were going to have the brother Penyo here, man. We watch you guys, like, we're loving your point. I'm like, yo. This thing, bro.
Yeah.
The internet is powerful. So thank you so much, guys. I'm glad that you guys started your things. I've been bumping into a lot of you guys everywhere. They're saying the same thing. Hey, where is Penyo? We're proud of you guys. When are you coming back on air? And this is even overseas because it's just overwhelming to see the love and just to see what people are tuning. You need to remember, I come from the environment of SABC1.
Yeah.
So to be in a space where people are recognizing your work in a foreign country, then it reminds you the power of the internet. And this is only the beginning. You can only imagine 5 to 10 years from today.
That's so crazy. Sbuda, welcome back, bro. One of the things I did say to people was, I actually hope he doesn't come back. And they wouldn't understand what I meant. And you and I have had these conversations because we'd communicate while you were away. When the universe opens up for greatness and it makes a call, you need to heed that call. And all of us are on our own personal journeys in various ways. I'd like to think you've helped me jump many levels. I thought they'd take me 3 years, but meeting you, you helped me elevate my reach in a very short space of time. And shout out to McG and as well with Podcast and Chill and what that did for me as well. But we're on different journeys. I'm only starting to be a mini celeb nyana, thanks to brand leverage, yourself, etc. You have been in the game for long. You are continental, and I've been yearning for you to go global. Because you inspire us every day. But what about the rest of the world that needs you so desperately? So when there was that half gap, and look, we got disturbed by COVID, of course, I was like, I want to Sbu to reach the pinnacle of his potential. So that if one day he becomes bigger than a Trevor Noah Black Coffee, Tineskwaziyo, Sbuda, we always knew. So I was kind of like, look, I kind of hope he doesn't come back because he is bigger than all of us. You know, when you give birth to a child that's super talented as a parent, you can't hog that child. You have to let the world enjoy that child. So I'm happy that you're back, but I'm also kind of hoping that you're still going to leave us. But I'm hoping you'll tell us what you've been up to and if you're back for good or if we're supposed to share food.
I appreciate the humbling words, man. I miss affirming each other with you. And I appreciate every time when you remind me of what we represent out there. I feel the same about you. I feel your greatness is only starting to be recognized by people now. And at the back of my mind, I'm like, they don't know what's coming. You know, as this man evolves and as this man grows and just his mind and just where he's taking his life. And for me, it's the impact that you're having out there to younger people and even to older people similarly.
Yeah.
There is one of the shows that I did in in the state, New York, and then a little city that is about 2 hours away from New York City. The city is called, a little town called Connecticut. I think I did 2 shows in that area. I did Bridgeport and I did Waterbury. Upudumlamuli Quebec, who grew up here, Ekasi, I didn't know, he's a Grotman. Sure. He's been in America for like over 20 years. He's a businessman. He's been doing well for many years. He's been making dollars, that man.
Yeah.
He speaks highly of you. He watches our podcasts.
Jeez.
He watches your platforms. He's a subscriber to your platforms. And he just speaks of, ever since I've introduced you to him, he just can't stop watching you online and just watching your content.
Yeah.
And he just said, and you must know that there's a lot of eyeballs that are watching your work, not only in South Africa, but even outside of South Africa. And when I say outside of South Africa, it's not only foreigners, but it's also, I don't know if they call them expats, South Africans who are living in other countries overseas.
Sure.
And he also has a network of other South Africans who are in Europe, who are in Canada, who are in China. And they would discuss some of the things that you say. And then he says to me, they sometimes share your videos on their WhatsApp groups. And these are people all over the world outside of South Africa. And it just made me so happy. Wow, this is so beautiful. The impact that we're having.
Yeah.
And we just want to thank you guys, wherever you're watching us from all over the world. And some people, little did I know, they keep in touch with the online content to know what's going on. Ekaya.
Yeah.
Because others have gone for a while. They've
Yeah.
been gone for many years. So that's how they keep in touch with that South Africanness.
Sure.
Others, they miss home so much that just getting a savannah being imported into that country, it means a lot to them, you know? Others just want South African products. Others like eat Joko tea.
Yes.
Or whatever product it is that they grew up with from South Africa.
Yeah.
And then that's why then, they're proud of us for creating these things. Some of them, they're even buying pairs, Zabopatu. It's being sent overseas and they just love anything South African. I guess that's why when we go overseas and we do these shows, majority of the audiences that come to our shows is South African. So South Africans, thank you for the love. Thank you for filling up those shows. That nostalgic feeling of selling out venues felt really great. I hadn't done it in a while. I don't even have any new music out, but overseas crowds are different from here. Tina, majority of ticket sales happen at the door. Okay. It's only a few people who buy online pre the event. Overseas, it's the other way around. Majority, even over 90% of the ticket sales happen before, actually not even 90%, most cases, 100% of the ticket sales happen online before I want to get to the venue. So when you see videos of people queuing to get into a venue, if it's overseas or let's say in America, they're not queuing to buy tickets.
They're just queuing to get in.
They're queuing to get in. Tickets have already been sold. They're professional. They buy online. And that culture for me, I'm like, when is this coming to South Africa? It's beautiful. So it felt great to fill up venues. It felt great to get a call from, my manager that side and saying, it's 3 days before the event. The event is sold out. Congratulations, Sbu. Wow, I'm selling out clubs. This is so dope. And once again, before we continue, I want to give a big shout out to the Major League DJs for opening that door.
And you blasted it wide open.
Yeah.
As we know you to do.
And we spoke about it, ne?
We did. Before you left, Vele, tina sazi ukuthi buya shaya K1.
Yeah, me too. That's
Next thing you're gone for 6 months, Usbuda, usebhungukile, buya phela, khumbula ekhaya. Hayi bo. Before we carry on, I just want to give a shout out and our hearts to, because we are a trio in the virtual Mkhukhu and the Hustlers Corner, to Justice Shabalala, who does our production. Justice also been working. I know people see me on screen on YouTube, but some of your favorite vodcasts, podcasts, productions online, people are not aware. Justice and his production team are at the back, and it's the Three Musketeers. I'm happy that the three of us are back, even though people generally only see us. But shout out to Justice as well. I'm so happy that we're back together.
And let me also mention to you, shout outs to you for discovering some young, talented guys. I've been seeing your production has been improving on your Penuel show and some of the things you're doing online. And I know that it's some of the young guys who've been reaching out to you. Some of them you've been trying out. Sure. And then some you've given, you've been giving them a chance. And for me, that's what this is all about. Giving each other a chance, empowering young people with content, and those who've got some skills or want to sort of get an opportunity to intern with their skills, to come and showcase them, and you've given them that opportunity. So big up to you for that.
No, we learn from you, Sbuda. Each one teach one. If your candle is lit, you light the next candle. Justice was actually the guy. I met this young gent, Gift Nduma, in Sprayed View, Eguruleni. And he reached out to Justice. He came on set. He did some work. We looked at the work he was doing. And when you left, again, it was like, how do we grow the industry and be an example? Gift brought in Ubanele Mota, Uvusim Doi, Ulolo, kids that are hungry, talented, working. On the panel show, I'm working with guys that have been in the industry for a while. Tibu Khokibine, Khumutso, Sizwe Dube, Ukyubu Tumelo from Efoslo, Uyenzi from KZN. So, learning from you. And look, it may not be that we're working together forever. It could be one episode, few episodes, but they can go out there and be like, have you seen that episode? Of which one of the dopest episodes when I meet people is the one with Joshua Maponga.
Yeah, yeah.
Mkhulu Nsingizo's one was big for a long time. Joshua Maponga came in for African New Year in September. Even if it's just for that episode, you can be like, I was actually involved in that. I was involved in this. And look, I wanted us to discuss the business of your virtual Mkhukhu, the Hustlers Corner later, which maybe we'll still do later. But now that you've raised it, I just want to say shout out to those guys and the work and the experimentations that we've actually done with content to just see what we can do, because we are allowed, I think, for now.
A lot has happened in the past 3 months.
That's all we came to hear actually today. Ogunye we can discuss later.
The first thing...
Was she Yasita Usbudia next week? We are in Usbudia. No, I think Jim Sampe 2 weeks gone.
And I'm one of those people. I'm led by the Spirit. You know, ngumuntu mina we ngiyamthanda uNkulunkulu. Umveli nqangi usonini nanini. Awu Thixo simakade usomandla esimthandayo. Siyakubonga Nkosi ngokusinikeza impilo nokuthi sivuke siphefumule nje. Siyaphefumula lo moya, siyazibamba lezihlahla, siyazihaga lezihlahla. Siyayikhulisa leinwele. Siya-understand imandate yethu ukuthi kungani sila emhlabeni ukuzokwenza umehluko ezimpilweni zabanye abantwana. And siyayibonga leyibusiso uNkulunkulu aqhubeka sinikeza zona ukuthi uma kuvuleka umnyango owodwa ugcina somangala ukuthi house sokuvuleka omunye sokuvuleka nomunye. We are led and guided by the Spirit. Other people sometimes they even call it a gut feeling, or other people sometimes they say with our sisters it's a woman's intuition. For me, I feel it's the Spirit. When the Spirit guides you and it feels good with your heart to do the next thing, or you feel, I'll make you one example. There's one of the shows that I did. It actually started with one show. It ended up happening, I think, 4 or 5 shows. Because I ended up doing a lot of shows, almost 20 shows that I did in the past couple of months. About 4 or 5 shows, people throwing me with dollars. I know some people make jokes, they're like, they were throwing you with dollars like you're a stripper. And I was like, I'm humbled.
Yeah.
Some of those dollars are ones. Some of them are 5. Some are 10. Some are $20. Some are $50. Some are $100. At some point, I was counting dollars, getting to the hotel room. I'm like, my goodness. But Mina, the wisdom in me kicks in and says, this is a sign.
Yes.
This is God showing you a sign.
Yes.
There's a lot out there for you. And not only for you, because you are a light to a lot of kids that are watching your work. This is a sign to many other South Africans back home. Guys, there's more out there for you. Let's not limit our dreams. Let's not limit our thinking. There's a big world out there. And our brothers and sisters, Abo Tusombetu, Abo Mameria Makeba, my soul rest in peace, Abo Kaifa Semenya, Mamleta Mbulu, Abo Prahuma Sigela, my soul rest in peace, Abo Black Coffee, Abo Trevor Noah have been showing us, guys, let's dream big.
Yeah.
And as we also learn about our history, we get to understand that black people were all over the world. Way before these history books that keep telling us who Christopher Columbus discovered the Americas, who Jan van Riebeeck came 1652 and discovered South Africa. We're only limited when we're taught history. Uguti, history started that time. No. Black people have been existing way before then.
Yeah.
And they were all over the world, not only just here. So even our thinking and our dreams, as much as this is home, let's dream bigger. We are for the world. Life started in this continent, but we are for the world. You know, we radiate with this amazing energy of God that is all over the world. So let's go out there and flood the world. There's South Africans all over the world doing incredible things. I met young South Africans coming to shows who are entrepreneurs overseas, who are scholars, who are academics, who are professors, who are business people, who are millionaires. I met some students. Some of them are young. They've just arrived in America 2-3 years ago. Some, they just went there managing or 2020, managing or 2021. Others went before that. And I'm like, wow, there is a sea of South Africans all over the world exploring their dreams. And for me, I'm coming back here to say, we want more of you guys to do that.
How do the kids get overseas, Buddha? Because bayaguzwa, they can see, but they're like, but Buddha, where do I start?
The first thing is, where do you want to go and what do you want to be? And where do you want to go and explore? And when you are young, you've got that chance because not a lot of you guys have got many responsibilities. The time is when you are young. Don't worry too much about the money. Learn ways on how you can make money online first. Start saving your money. Start finding out how much tickets are to travel. Start finding out how to get a visa to that particular country that you want to go to. I know there's South Africans who are studying. Others are even based in countries like China or countries like Ukraine. There's South Africans that are based in countries like Russia. There's South Africans in Indonesia. There's South Africans in London, in Canada. So find out online, how do I get to that country? Do South Africans need a visa to go to this particular country? And when the information comes up, yes, you do need a visa. And then you click the how to get that visa. Then you start contacting the officials at Home Affairs. You start finding out how long does it take? How much money do I need to save to get that visa? And then start letting your immediate family or friends or people that you think can support you, your uncles, start letting them know of your dream. You don't have to, but sometimes you can share with those that you think can support your dream somehow. And it's also not that expensive to go overseas. There's also programs online that are open for South Africa, especially students that want to go and explore or study overseas. There's many opportunities online, and I want to encourage as many of our young people as possible to dream bigger, to go out there. It's not only just for a selected few or for celebrities. No, go out there and explore the world, guys. I've even seen South Africans who explored the world when they were young, and now they're older. They actually want to come back home and settle at home. Others have studied overseas, and now they want to come back with all that skill and all that experience and education to come and plow back here at home and be based here at home. And it's a beautiful thing to experience.
One of the saddest things is when you do travel, how few, I can't speak about the United States, I've never been there, but how few South Africans, and in particular Black South Africans, are around. You see Nigerians, you bump into Pakistanis, Chinese people, Indians, but not that many Black South Africans. And I really think there's some websites, couch surfing, people look up couch surfing, Hostel World as one as well. If you go on Facebook and look up certain groups, South Africans in, say you want to go to Russia, South Africans in Russia, join those groups and make friends. Some of the people you went to school with, for an example, I matriculated with a guy called Usboniso Vilagaz, and he took advantage of, I don't know if it was a master's in engineering in Japan. He's come back, he's a metallurgical engineer now. Other people have gone to travel to places like the UK. They started bartending. A friend of mine, Mkhukhu, now works for government in Scotland. And he's got a brewery business that side. I don't know if it's whiskey or what it may be. We need to get out of this fear of travel. And part of it is meeting people who have traveled. Part of it is going online and finding these spaces. And one of the cool things that you did say was, learn how to make money online. So that America, you know, you just need Wi-Fi and you can get those $5-10 for the day or for the week. And then travel and venture a bit more. And I think lastly, just on that point, or two more things. Stock fells. We need more travel stock fells that are short left in South Africa, of course. Short left in Africa. We need to travel the continent, especially SADC. And then we need stock fells that are going to travel abroad to go learn, to go and find skills, to go and find other South Africans that are there that are going to show you the way and show you the shortcuts. And then secondly, as you said, the internet is a game changer. If you want to travel like Sbu, whatever skill you have, udlala disk, get impinja yakho to take your phone, akushute. We are DJ, get someone to record you. You're a professional even. Today I'm about to do a presentation for a deal. We're about to sign a 500,000 rand deal. We're excited. Show us that presentation online and then just keep showing it. And one day someone oversees to what you're saying. Bono Babu Quebec, Mlamuli Quebec. They might be watching overseas and say, we've been looking for young South Africans in this space. We didn't know there were people doing aeronautical engineering in South Africa.
Yes.
We want to invest. There are people that are doing agriculture or agricultural economists. I don't know if it's called an agronomist. Like Owandile Sihlobo, for example. Put your stuff out there. You may not get on mainstream, but we've got social. And if we pick up your stuff, and shout out to Miles Ikbega, who's started a container. There's one in Alex, Ikwalisa, where more lady come with small, if you're in a container, if you can't afford a big bag, or cooking oil, we put that on TikTok. 200,000 views, and there are people overseas saying, we've been wanting to invest in something like this. Put your stuff on the internet, and then Usbuda overseas will be like, Konintwana somewhere, a Taliwonga, a young stunner. What the Major League Twins have done. They want to be like, we can see you on the internet, maybe we haven't met, we'll pull you through, and that's how you travel.
You're so correct. And I like when you simplify it to TikTok, things like TikTok, things that you guys are, platforms that you guys are already existing in, a little following that you've created on Facebook. I didn't know you can monetize Facebook so much.
Yeah.
Guys, you can monetize Facebook through subscriptions. I've just found out that people are monetizing through subscriptions, just like we do here on YouTube, where people subscribe and they pay a certain fee every month. You can monetize through, so while I was away, some hackers, they hacked my Facebook and then they started grabbing my other videos from from YouTube, from Instagram, and then they would post them on my Facebook. So people think it's me posting my own content from other platforms.
Sure.
And then what do they do? Behind the scenes, they use my Meta Business Suite tool to monetize through stars. Okay. Basically, when people watch your content and they like it and they want to sort of donate, just like they would on TikTok, they send you stars. And those stars can be monetized. Facebook pays you a certain fee every month into whatever bank account you would have registered with when you are entering or starting your monetization of Facebook. But they also tell you, just like YouTube, you need to have had these number of watch hours. You need to have at least a minimum of these followers. And then so you can monetize through stars. So anyway, I was introduced through...
And you mustn't be violated like me. That's why I can't monetize Facebook.
Oh yeah, Namia, there's some things I've done where I've violated and I can't monetize with everything.
Sure.
But I think I can monetize through stars, through subscriptions, through there's a
Plethora.
Plethora.
Where America says,
Yeah, mean.
A plethora. There's a plethora of...
and then it's not only Facebook, you can do the same with TikTok.
Yeah.
People can send you gifts. People, even on YouTube, people can send those super thanks.
True.
So there's many ways on how you guys can be anywhere in the world, have a laptop or have your phone and still record your content and monetize that content. Every video that you're putting out there, remember, is a potential for you to blow up. Potentially it can go viral. And once it goes viral, you know what happens. It brings all of that traffic to your platforms and that just might change your life. So every video that you record, make sure that you've found ways on how to monetize it and make sure that you treat it as a potential viral video because it just might change your life.
True.
And then you can do this. I don't know with Twitter. I haven't been on Twitter for almost a year now, but I do know that all these other platforms actually you can monetize. And I just found out that Facebook actually pays the most. I didn't know that.
Hectic.
TikTok pays, YouTube pays. And when you're saying hectic, maybe I want you to add on that point as to how do we monetize Facebook further? What do you know? How far do you know? Because I've just been introduced through these stars and all these other ways from these hackers. But thankfully, Facebook got back my account. And I want to shout out a brother called, is it Shingy? Shingy, who's based in the UK, who's admin, and he officially runs the page or the business page. It's got like, I think, over 5 million followers.
Jeez.
Yaga, the great Mr. Strive Masiyiwa from Zimbabwe. He's the one that actually manages and runs that page. He helped us, myself and Farai Gundan, my sister who does my management internationally. He helped link us to the people at Facebook for me to get my account back. But the beautiful good news is Facebook has been doing some investigations, and behind the scenes, there's some syndicates out there that are just online scamming people's accounts and using big accounts from people to just... Have you seen some pages on Facebook where they just post weird things and they get a lot of views, and then they know how they're monetizing all of that. So they've hacked a page labo Sbu mhlambe aba is 70.
Yeah.
And then these pages are just making money behind the scenes. And so Facebook has found out with these people, they're actually an organized international criminal syndicate. And, you know, they've been, as they say, working with the FBI to try and trace all of those people. And then in my mind, I see videos of people sitting in some room with 100 phones connected and just hustling. They're online in some corner, but sadly hustling in the wrong way, hacking people's account and taking people's livelihoods. So you don't have to have a big page to make money online. You don't even have to have a podcast with 10,000 subscribers. Even if it only has 1,000 subscribers, you can start monetizing even on YouTube. You don't even have to have your podcast becoming as big as ours, but you can start making... I've been seeing some videos of young people saying, wow, on YouTube, I've just made my first 3 grand. And you look at that young person, they're like 21, 22. And for them, you can see like 3 grand is gonna make a big difference. And at the back of my mind, I'm like, little do they know, very soon, if they're consistent, that 3 grand is going to become 7 grand. That 7 grand is going to become 15 grand. That 15 grand is going to become 30 grand. I had a great time with a brother who's married to an amazing actress. I think she's also Miss Sundowns. Hungani Ndlovu. We were together in New York. We were rocking together at some party as well. They were also there just for a holiday. He hit me up, says, I see you on social media in New York. Can I come join you at the club? Like, come through. They're making a living through their YouTube platform.
Wow.
And he was just telling me how they're monetizing it and how much money they're making. And when they got their first check, when they started during the lockdown, says they were so blown away on how much money they can make on YouTube. But he says, fast forward to now, he can't fathom that literally YouTube has changed him and his wife's lives. And now they're able to travel all over the world. Now they've bettered their lives. Now they literally are living much better than they were now 2 years ago. Why? Just because of making money online.
Jeez, that's crazy. You know, wherever there's money to be made, you're gonna find criminals, unfortunately. Obviously, in the real world, people make counterfeit goods. We obviously, in our naivety, didn't think things like that would happen online. By things, I mean, obviously we knew about hacking, bank accounts, credit card. We just didn't think someone would come in, hack your YouTube channel or your TikTok and make money. I've got an abusive relationship with the Facebook, unfortunately. I've been stuck on 157,000 followers for I don't know how many months, and they've throttled my reach because of all my violations, which I think largely are unfounded. And if Mark Zuckerberg and the boys are listening, not just them, all the social media platforms, if social media platforms claim that they care about humanity and what's good and what's right, this is my suggestion. Every time someone violates on a social media platform, I think the social media platform should rightfully suspend them if needs be, or even permanently delete their account. But after that, put a screenshot or a banner on that person's page explaining what they did wrong. What that does, number one, is it shows everyone, don't do this, because this is a violation. But number two, for someone like myself, I've got an abusive relationship with Facebook. It will show people out there, but this is not a violation. This is not a hate speech. This is not. And if these platforms care, they will get feedback from people saying, no, but we don't think they violated anything here. Because they claim they want us to give feedback. But would suspend about delete your account yako? Because I think that happened to me with Twitter. Permanently deleted.
You don't have it back yet.
Shout out to Elon Musk.
Oh, you got it back?
From Pretoria Voice.
Well
Shout
done,
out to
bro.
Elon Musk.
Well done.
The wealthiest African American in the world. Or the wealthiest African in the world. Shout out to Elon Musk, man. So I appealed maybe 5 times. And now, 2023, I appealed and I got my account back. So happy to get my account back on Twitter. Twitter's actually a very powerful platform.
I miss Twitter, man.
Yo, it's actually addictive. It's one of the things I realized. And look, we used to have Hello Peter where you complain or you shout out to companies and brands, but Twitter's taken over. If you've got an issue with a company, you tag them, people comment, etc. Elon Musk has just announced in the past week, because when he took over, one of the things is he started selling subscriptions for the blue verified tick. And the Americans were going crazy and angry and whatever. Well, let me say this first. I've been shocked at, and look, I'm a huge fan of Trevor Noah. I believe that when you're on a platform, and I believe on the Daily Show, there was, I'm not going to call it per se an agenda, but a political bias. I don't know if it's left-leaning or right-leaning. I think it's more left with Jon Stewart before Trevor came on. So you kind of start getting a sense of, we don't like Donald Trump. We don't like Republicans. We don't, Elon Musk buys Twitter, and Trevor Noah, along with so many other Americans, were not happy with that. And I didn't understand why. I didn't understand why a person who came as a foreigner into America helped set up PayPal, helped set up the Boring Company, which sold flamethrowers, which weren't flamethrowers, made a lot of money, helped set up SpaceX, which became a huge success and a big tenderpreneur of the American government, helped blow up Tesla in electric vehicles. This is a guy on platforms who said things like he's not about money. He's about pushing innovation. Like Thomas Edison, like Nikola Tesla, he's saying if it's going to take 1,000 experiments to get to Mars, I would like to burn and lose money in 200 experiments so that the next generation or the generations coming can say, this guy lost $100 billion trying these things, so we don't have to try this anymore. Shout out to Sbu going to America. I don't have to struggle the way he did. He may have lost money going to America, but I will now make money because Sbu will say, no, avoid these guys, don't perform at this place. No, by changing you here, etc. So that was always his mindset. Even when he bought Twitter, his whole thing was, I'm not here to make money or success. I believe this is an important platform. And he gave his master plan. He said, we're going to do verified accounts. You don't have to be a celebrity or a politician to be verified. We'll verify you. All we need you to click this criteria. Some of it is to make sure you're a real human being, because there's a lot of bots on Twitter that spam other people. So he's done that, the verification. With the verification, he also said, we're going to start monetizing and giving content creators. And he announced that this week. He's like, we're going to now start sharing ad money, but you need to have a verified account to make sure that you're not getting hacked. You're not a robot somewhere or a scam. This guy builds PayPal and said he's always wanted to build the biggest financial institution online, and he's going to use Twitter to do that. He's going to bring PayPal 2.0 to Twitter. It's going to monetize. We're going to be able to share money. On another vodcast like this, he said, there is no platform outside of China that is like WeChat. If you ever get a chance, go research your WeChat. It is a beast in China. People don't use bank cards. People don't use from Tencent, which is owned by Naspers in South Africa. People don't use bank cards. They don't use their IDs. Everywhere they go, it's WeChat. When they pay, when let's say a traffic cop or a cop wants to see who you are, everything is on WeChat. And Elon Musk said, I'm going to use Twitter to become the WeChat of the rest of the world. He might fail, but he's that type of guy. Let's as chance. As Ali Hustler's corner, we might bust, we might go big, we might make money. As Ali MOFAYA, if we fail, it's fine.
Asqali virtual Mkhukhu. Asqali panel show.
Wakhona Vandal, wakhona Dankisan, wakhona Loadshedding.
You remember Vandal, Gandhi?
Come on, Baba.
You've been following me.
Hey, stop it.
Kanje, day one.
Day one. Asqali massive metro.
Shout out to Trevor Zoom, Trevor Matondo.
Asqali massive metro, Asqali whatever it is. Let's try it out. TS Records. Let's see. So that the kids afterwards can come to us and be like, what did you learn so that we win? What should we avoid? Because you got burnt. You paid the school fees.
Exactly. I can relate to exactly what you're talking about. I always say to people, Vandal had to fail for there to be a MOFAYA.
Sure.
We had to learn ways. I had to also personally learn things or what not to do or how to do it better.
Yeah.
Because for me, every time I look at this is Vandal. This is what it has become.
Sure.
It just evolved into this. But I approach this differently because of some failures and experiences that I had had with Vandal. And for that short stint and the success that we had and what we messed up and what it could have become. Imagine how big it would be today if we didn't even stop. But I guess all of those mistakes and those experiences, one learned.
Sure.
And, we grow and then you applied them here. It's exactly what you're saying, that we learn from these people what not to do. So we move on and do things better. And while we're still on online platforms and creations, over the past couple of months, in just 3 months I've been away, ChatGPT has just blown up. From nowhere, bro. From nowhere, bro.
Yeah.
Maybe for those who don't know, what is ChatGPT? Maybe we could just simplify it for them.
I'll try. Just to finish off, so Facebook it started monetizing in America. Like South Africa's valelong apparently. There's a platform called Rumble.
Yeah.
Which doesn't allow South Africans to upload. The South Africans that are uploading videos are doing it on something called a VPN, which is a private connection. And once you use VPN, you can be located anywhere in the world. Rumble...
I use it, sure.
Yeah, for a lot of people, it was like, look, if YouTube is not happy with alternative content, you can use Rumble as an example. Yeah. Shout out to Nicolette Mashile.
I think Rumble was started by a Canadian youngster.
Sure.
Yeah, sorry, continue.
Shout out to Nicolette Mashile.
Yeah.
She's a friend of the Hustlers podcast, Hustlers Corner. She was one of the people they experimented with on Facebook. They monetized her page. I believe P.I. Pagati, who does a lot of charity work.
Shout out to P.I. Pagati.
Shout out to P.I.
Great work. Great work.
He also has monetized his Facebook page as well. So Facebook is trying that out. But I wanted to say YouTube, I think as of January, is putting a lot of emphasis and money on shorts. Short videos on YouTube. So someone has to go and check that out. Go check out shorts on YouTube. And it's because it's TikTok. And I think it's going to be good competition because I got an email from TikTok now in January saying that they're also re-looking at their revenue models to say, look, short content, 1 minute, 2 minutes, hoy it and we'll see if we can share money with you. As we speak about monetization, Facebook is doing work. I don't think they're doing as much as they could, considering that they're still arguably one of the biggest platforms in the world. Facebook is pushing. I hope they push more. YouTube has gone from just normal, what we did, the videos and the super thanks and the memberships, to say, look, and in South Africa, they also still need to get to merchandise. They haven't allowed us to really plug onto merchandising in South Africa, but they're focusing on shorts. TikTok, I'm hoping, is also going to be focusing on shorts. So shout out to these platforms. And yeah, for the kids out there that are going to be traveling like yourself, I'm hoping that they're going to jump on all of these opportunities that are out there to monetize as well. ChatGPT is a creation of OpenAI, which is a non-profit organization which was co-founded by Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, who's a billion-dollar investor.
You guys don't know a guy called Continue.
Uzosifundela Peter Thiel?
No, qhubeka.
But you're going to plug us? Nazo. Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, a couple of other guys that started OpenAI. It's an NPO. Elon Musk is very big on open source coding, sharing things so that other kids out there can use them, can create great things. They started it and they were looking for artificial intelligence. I know Google for many years has invested. There are so many other companies. If you ever study I think they're called Alphabet. If you ever study the Alphabet company and some of the things that they've been doing, part of it has been how do we allow human beings to live forever, of which Elon Musk has done Neuralink, which is getting the brains to plug into artificial intelligence. But anyways, OpenAI came up with this ChatGPT, which was meant to be like at least in my opinion, a better version of Google search, of Wikipedia, of coding. And then I'm hoping as they come up with better versions, it's going to be speaking back. Because currently, you type in like a question or you ask them to help you with coding or you ask them to debug a certain program. And then it almost like when you're chatting on WhatsApp, it responds back about various things. Kids have been using it to write essays at school. People have been using it to write exams. It just passed the bar, the law exam in America. I think it's passed some medical exams as well. And it's constantly going to be improving. In 2018, Elon Musk left the board. He resigned from the board of OpenAI. Arguments are that I think Tesla, I don't know if it's Tesla that's doing something similar in AI or one of his other companies, and Microsoft came in. As we know, Microsoft, Bill Gates. Microsoft has come in. They've invested, I think recently they put in another 10 billion US dollars into chatgpt, and they wanted to become the foremost advancement in artificial intelligence. Jobs are going to fall. Innovations are going to come. People that understand how to use technology are going to make a lot of money. But it's going to now challenge us again to say, look, with automation, robots, etc., how do we use ChatGPT to advance the world? And if we're not using ChatGPT or other apps, how do we maybe plug out from them and then innovate in the real world? Should we go back to farming? Should we go back to the villages and create something best from there? So ChatGPT has been blowing the world. I know a lot of people have been using it now. It's becoming slower, and Microsoft have now started charging a subscription service. I think it's $20 maybe a month for people to use ChatGPT. But we're going to see. I've got my own negative opinions about ChatGPT because of Microsoft and Bill Gates. But everyone is excited, and let's see if we can use it, like crypto, like blockchain, like these platforms we were telling you about, if people can use them to advance themselves. Thank you.
Nigerian brother, may soul rest in peace, David Jibodi Odaibo, who had just won a $125 million contract from the Department of Homeland Security in the United States. He died of some unexplainable causes, sadly in a hospital. But there's a lot of rumors all over the internet that he actually is the guy who founded and created the software that brought us ChatGPT. But right now, when you Google online, obviously, as you're saying, about Elon Musk, about Bill Gates, nan. And right now, there's also a Zimbabwean genius kid, tech genius, who's created another amazing technology. And apparently, he was in the US also for some time. And apparently, he says there's some people that have been trying to assassinate him. There's some people who are trying to poison him. Why am I saying that? I'm saying that so as to say, as much as we can be excited of these creations that we are thinking are coming about Elon Musk and those types of guys, it's highly possible that actually a lot of them are created by our African brothers and sisters.
I hope we speak about the same person, Maxwell Chikumbutso.
Yeah, that's the Zimbabwean one.
Yes, the Zimbabwean guy.
Yeah. The one I spoke about earlier is sadly a Nigerian one who was based in the US who has passed. And there's rumors online that he is actually the creator of that software that brought us about ChatGPT, etc. But my point is, number one, African kids need to understand their own greatness. I don't want us to continue just continuously put these guys on a pedestal. Like bakaki ice cream bona. You know? Like in Taba Zenza Utinanga Seasons.
Yes.
And the food lezes bahloniphela or lezesi brainwash ukuthi sibelieve ukuthi bahloniphele zona. Most of them akusiyi baba iqalile. Bathatha i-credit after. Most of them actually ziqalwe abantu abamnyama. Njengani njenge-internet.
Sure.
Konje ubani lo mfowethu ngifuna ukukhuluma igama lakhe before ngiqhubeka ngikhuluma. I don't know if you know his name. Nigerian who created the internet.
No.
Nigerian who created the internet. Let me Google him and see what it says here. Philip Emeagwali, born in 1954, is a Nigerian-American computer scientist. He achieved computing breakthroughs that helped lead to the development of the internet. So it might not be how the internet is now, but these are one of the earliest people who created that technology that led into things like about the internet getting created. There's another great South African whom we've interviewed on a new podcast we do with Paul Mnisi on Thursdays. Go check it out, guys. Go check out that episode and the greatness of that man. And a lot of people don't know. And he's very humble, that man. The technology that today we call the blockchain technology, he is highly instrumental in being one of the first people to create that cryptography or blockchain technology. And it's in Kulumen Nikamalake right now, guys. Go check him out. And actually, check out the episode. Ngifuna ukumkhuluma ubaba kahle. Ngifuna futhi bayolibukela le episode ukuthi bam understand nengqondo yakhe nemisebenzi ayenzile.
Yes.
And he's very humble about his achievements. Dr. Zulu Mathambo, siyabonga, thokoza mkhulu. Thokoza mkhulu, siyabonga. Siyabonga ngomsebenzi omuhle. Siyabonga for pioneering. Siyabonga for being a genius. A lot of people don't hail, but in not all wear capes, Martin?
Not all superheroes wear
Not
capes.
all superheroes wear capes.
Yeah.
And South Africans like him need to be known. Nigerians like Mr. Ediwali need to be known. Africans like the Zimbabwean brother like him that you're talking about need to be known. But sadly, he was in the US. Now I'm jumping everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm going back to the Zimbabwean. He was in the US to go and patent his concepts.
Yeah.
And he says, in him being in the US for that long, they've tried to poison him. They've refused him patenting that technology that he came up with, his invention. And they've come up with ways to try and block him to not get the patent. But what I want to say is, these stories shouldn't scare you. Ukuthi ubanibani died, that other person was killed. Yeah, now my mailing is in Sabe because bazongibulala. The more usaba, the more attract ububi kuwena.
Yeah.
You mustn't gravitate or vibrate low, because when you're vibrating low or when you've got fear, you attract isn't ezimbi kuwena. But if you don't have the fear, you've got the confidence of loving God in you, and you vibrate on that God energy.
Kanye West.
Uke wamuze khuluma ubab Louis Farrakhan.
Yes.
Akutshela ngoNkulunkulu. That time naseka khafula ezinye izinto. Now uyathuka ukuthi jo, did this man just say that?
He's amazing.
And nakaqeda uzokutshela ukuthi angisabi lutho mina. Ngihamba noNkulunkulu. So guys, go out there and create these things. Because you guys have to be inspired by all of these people to go and create them. What we do with them, there will be other people who are going to have bad intentions.
Yeah.
To make the world,
like we said with the hackers.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As bad as it can be. But when I found your own way on how you can use these things to benefit you. A simple thing, like I tried out ChatGPT. In one day, I wrote an online course using ChatGPT. But obviously, I had to vet it and also put in just my information.
Yeah.
Because these things, nazo zinokuba namanga. And in future, nasihamba. Nasonke sesizosebenzisa AI, that's also another form of control.
Yeah.
Where people bazovilapha ukuba bacabange.
Sure.
Bazovilapha ukuba ama-creatives.
Yes.
Because yonke into bayithola kalula. Yonke into siyithola ku-Google.
Yes.
Yonke into sesiyithola kubo-ChatGPT.
Yes.
Izinto seziba lula sesifela nokuyicabangela thina.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? Exactly.
Yeah.
But for entrepreneurs and hustlers, there's many ways also, especially right now, because as time goes, the market is going to be so saturated, but right now you've got an opportunity to monetize a platform like ChatGPT. Even if you're not a good writer, even if you're not good in coming up with articles, it can do all of those things for you. And there's various ways on how you can use ChatGPT to make money. I'm just making you one example. I just used it to write an online course that I recorded. I did about 24 videos, and did I put it up on Udemy yet? No, I haven't put it up yet. I'm gonna put it up on Udemy. But I did that course. I recorded that course late last year when ChatGPT just blew up. I was just trying it out, and it's actually a dope course.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wow. So one can monetize this thing in their own way. I don't know what your passion is. I don't know what you do, but you can find ways. You can also Google some videos, even here on YouTube, where you can find out ways on how to make money through ChatGPT. Other ways might not be speaking to you, but there's other ways where you can learn that knowledge and use it in your own way. Use also your own creative mind to use platforms like those, the AI, to make money for yourself. And there's also a lot of young people on TikTok who are sharing different ways on how you can learn how to make money with these things. Not a lot of them are legit. Abanye, they are, I don't want to call them scammers. Abanye, they just sell that.
Sure.
Uguti, buy my course, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
But there's a lot of them that you can learn things from without having to pay them anything, just by watching the information that they put out on YouTube.
Oba Pusha.
Oba Push.
I watched her episode. I actually met up with her recently.
Oh, did you?
Too dope.
Dope. She's amazing.
You're making me think of many things, but I'm going to try and just stay on the positive energy.
Yeah.
Business is war. Business is not a friendly match. And those of us who are only now for the first time getting into formal business don't know that. There's a great story of one of the managers of Elvis Presley, great pop star, of which now he's been accused of stealing and appropriating certain people's music and things. There's a story of his manager who started selling I Hate Elvis badges or stickers to everyone who didn't like Elvis. People didn't know, obviously, that it's from him, but so that you can monetize on the hate. I'm only saying this because there have been many theories of when you hear of stories like... Come on. Danke. When you're speaking about your Facebook being hacked and the syndicates and the CIA, because I've studied how the world works and I understand that many people have sinister agendas, I'm never shocked if I were to find out that a lot of these hackers are people that come from the same companies that tell us that, sorry, you've been hacked, we're working on it. Some of the banks, Lama 99 Rand, debit order scam, but you guys have the highest level of security. Kanjani tikudlule nina. Kuyinini kumele sinthembe. No, we'll investigate, we'll see. I worry about some of those things. And look, it's not a reason to be scared to live life, because life in itself is dangerous. You can walk out in the streets, you can stay indoors, and then something happens in your house. But I can't help but think about some of the sinister things out there. Some of the young kids that share their information with some of their mentors who end up stealing their ideas. Some of the people that share business plans. Some of the people that send a patent to a CIPC and it comes back, no, this already exists. Those of us who go and research, we're like, no, it didn't exist. Labantu bathatha idea yakho bayikopela, by patents themselves. And then no, this patent already exists. Because you don't know better. So yes, we must be very careful, but at the back of your head, understand that life is a jungle. Everything in life. There are people within your own family abakthakathayo. So protect yourself, man. If it's believing in a higher power, in a God, in uThixo, in uNkulunkulu mvelinqangi. Kanye West believes in Jesus and God today, and he believes that's his superpower, and he doesn't need a bodyguard or a bulletproof. Other people believe in amadlozi akubudi mina ngihambi ngedwa. Other people believe in Ekasi, whatever the case may be. But understand that very few people have good intentions. Very few people will come on platforms unpaid. No one is paying us to teach you how to make money for yourself. No one is paying us to empower you. Already that should feel foreign in your head. We're not selling you anything. We're not saying, look, sign up to DJ Sbu's online courses. Because Konabantu that don't want you to thrive. And you're right. We are conscious people. We understand that our history has been stolen. So the same way our history has been stolen and whitewashed and European washed, don't be surprised if you hear the same names. Elon Musk, Peter Thiel. Shout out to Elon Musk. Shout out to Peter Thiel. First invest in Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg. Jeff Bezos. And you're like, Tinas Nama innovation. Young can come from Naspers or from the Stellenbosch Mafia. Everything comes from China. Kanjani. So we need to find ways as Africans, and in particular as Black Africans, to try and bulletproof our own stories. And one of the things my belief system of penalism says is everywhere in the world and everyone in the world pushes propaganda. Everyone. Doesn't matter who it is. Could be Mandela, it could be Mother Teresa, could be anyone you love, could be Minister Louis Farrakhan. Pushes propaganda. Buy into and believe in and push the propaganda that serves you and your people. Someone will come and tell you, no, that Nigerian didn't invent the internet. And you're like, sure, I believe he did. If I'm Nigerian, if I'm a Black African, I believe that he did that. Zamalek Giza. Because someone will say it's a conspiracy theory. Was telling us, Ubab Credo Mutwa, Mkhulu, Ukoko, Ukredo Mutwa. Some of these stories that we see in Marvel movies today, the Spider-Mans, the Black Panthers, are stories atatwala. It's all Stan Lee and Marvel Comics. Hey, blind. It's our stories. Anime in Japan, many stories we've said. We need to find ways to believe in ourselves and to create platforms. The internet is here. One day, bazoivali internet. One day, your chatgpts and all these guys go to no, or else you have to patent, or else it's not real. If it's not copyrighted, it's not yours. We need to find intelligent ways to be able to tell our stories and sell our stories so that later on when someone says, no, but this is from Hollywood, it's not. It's from Mkhukhu no hlalala. Alex, uyena wayexoxa le story lezi. Abafana babeza bemshuta ngama-camera. Siyazazi le story, they documented. And even if it's not her story, understand the power of mind control, psychology, and propaganda, and choose the stories that serve you and your people. Makuthiwa 10 cent, WeChat, usho no mina umkhulu wami uyo waqhamuka nalento le. I can prove it. Angeke sifike sotshelwa abantu ukuthi you discovered. What did you discover, Tina Sikon? You mean you found us doing this thing, and then you sold it abroad, and then you sold it as if it was yours? Ningazositshela ukuthi Lion King yase Hollywood when story sala eAfrica. Amabhubesi, ingonyama, those are our things. Singasho bakhani inyuku ngayo, but it's ours. So how do we find ways to bulletproof our businesses, our ideas, our creations, our innovations? And failing that, how do we infiltrate a Hollywood? How do we infiltrate a Europe, a China, and go and set up factories there? Maitumo, no, this is made in China. With a good shot. Because Sbu and Amachita, they factory abole, but you wouldn't know. And we also win intelligently because they can't always be the smartest people in the room. We are just as smart. And we need to find ways. Shout out to James Cameron. Shout out to the new Avatar, Way of the Water, which was another cultural misappropriation. But those stories are telling you can find intelligent ways to mastermind izinto abathe zabo uthi wena nowezethu ngoba vele kwakuyezethu, but isebenzise their platforms and leave the audience thinking, maybe this wasn't a James Cameron story. Maybe this is from the Maori people. Maybe the new Black Panther is about the Aztec and the Mayans and the Latino people. And the Wakandans is maybe a story of Africa. And we need to go and find that real story because they gave us enough clues to say, look, it's just a movie, let's have fun. But some of us are like, it's not just a movie. There's something, they gave us a clue there. When Killmonger in the first one, Michael P. Jordan says, these artifacts in this museum, how did you guys get them? Did you pay a fair price? That's meant to make you think. Yeah. It's a movie, it's entertainment, but go ask King Charles in the UK, where did you get these gold bars? Where do they come from? Who do they belong to? And that's enough. So yeah, business is war.
Ngicela iglazel nama ice cubes ngajabula kanjani ukuthi ngoba ayisabandisisi the way ngifuna ibande ngakho namabili abe nama ice. The past 3 months a lot has happened. Some of the things that have happened was Kanye West. Let's talk about Kanye West.
Yeah.
Kanye West came out and in just a matter of a week or 2 weeks, the guy was approximately worth almost $11 billion. And the next thing I know, he's trending. He's on different podcasts. Excuse me. And 2 weeks later, he's worth, gets still a lot of money.
Yeah.
I think less than $500 million or something like that. Yeah,
just 400 million. I think at when the story was trending.
Something like
From
that.
$11 billion to $400 million.
Me as an entrepreneur, from the entrepreneurial perspective, inhliziyo yami babuhlungu ukuthi awumfowethu ususebenze kangaka impilo yakho yonke.
Yeah.
What created this generational wealth for the future of your children's children. Mm-hmm. And then to just come and mess all of that up.
Yeah.
Ganjalo nje. And then I trace how it started and I found out that it started with a tweet. Ukuthi ngiyolala manje.
Ezela. Yes.
Ngiyolala manje nangivuka la. I think he wrote a tweet like that. Sure. I don't know because I haven't been on Twitter.
Makuvuka la kuyonyiwa. That's essentially what the tweet said. Wathi ukhanye ngavuka kuyonyiwa.
Ngathi ngiyabona blome nomzekese. Siyalala manje. Nasivuka la kuyanyiwa, you know?
Uyabuya umzekeze this year?
Let's continue with Kanye West.
Okay. No. So I just wanted that little scoop. Oh yeah, because I know you mentioned him last year. He might be coming back.
So be again.
Sure.
Ask Kanye West.
Sure. I must speak. Oh.
Yeah, I want to hear your opinions. And I know to a lot of you guys it's old stories, but we haven't caught up me and Peñol in quite some time.
I'm also worried about time. We'd say so kuluma forever. Because you're making me think of Usain Bolt who lost $12 billion US.
My heart was sore. My heart was very sore when I heard that.
You're making me think of Andrew Tate who's still in jail. And it's not like banente bambegayo. for the people who are his fans. For the people who hate him, they're very happy. But those...
So for the
So for the people that hate him, they're obviously happy. But for those for other people that are fans and that understand the law, I need to believe in evidence.
Yeah. Sbu.
The story of Kanye West. The story of Kanye West and losing money.
Say whatever you want to say, man. This is a podcast. You know, we just go. You and I just go. And just share your thoughts.
I love Kanye West, and we have spoken about him many times. And we speak about him as a free thinker, as an innovator, as someone who pushes the boundaries. Thank you. He's constantly challenging himself in various ways. There are times when what he's doing makes everyone happy. There are times when what he's doing polarizes people. So, and then there's times when almost everyone is like, "Aye, Baba, better." But he's not scared to do that. And earlier when we were speaking about business and you were speaking about school fees and Vandal, I wanted to add on that our schooling system, if not the schooling system, our homes, if not our homes, those of us that create online courses, if not online courses, those of us running vodcasts and podcasts, we need to make it comfortable and fashionable to make mistakes. Be happy to make mistakes. Don't let school tell you that when you launch a company, it has to win. It doesn't. Launch a company with, I will launch MOFAYA so that I can learn. Why did you set up this company? Because I'm trying to learn. If I make money, great. If I don't, I learned something. So Kanye has constantly been learning. He's like a human robot. He's an algorithm. The story of how he lost his wealth brings up so many things in my head. One of them being, when you look at the stats and the data in the world, what we call first world countries and wealthy countries, their natural resources, I'll try and paint a picture, 1 to 10. They have 1 unit of natural resources. And then they have 9 units of what we call intellectual wealth. So they can take a piece of gold and then make it 10 times worth what it's worth in the first world, because they control the mind, the legal systems, the finance world, etc. In what we call third world countries, Democratic Republic of the Congo, South Sudan, South Africa, which is second world, arguably, we almost have 4 units of real wealth, natural resources. And then we struggle here with the rest. So we might have 4 units of real wealth and then 1 unit of artificial paper wealth. So if you compare us to an America, they 10 units. Tina, we're only 5. But when you look at real wealth, we have 4 units of gold, copper, chrome, platinum. They only have 1. And you ask yourself, why are they wealthier than us if we in the Democratic of the Republic of the Congo have more natural resources? It's because they own the minds of the masses. That's why the Zim dollar became worthless overnight, even though Zimbabwe was still naturally wealthy. Kanye West's wealth was wiped out overnight from $11 billion to $400 million, but he still had stock of Yeezys. He was still doing the music. He was still doing whatever he was doing. Mark Zuckerberg in the last year lost over $100 billion. Elon Musk lost over $100 billion. I don't know if it was Amazon which lost, I think it was $1 trillion, I stand to be corrected, $1 trillion in worth. What is that? No. It's this concept of paper money. So Kanye West lost paper money, but I'd like to think himself, his mind, his creativity, he never lost that. That's the one part. The second part is we do not own many of the platforms. We speak very much about mainstream media. We're not in charge. The media holders, white monopoly capital. Alternative media, which we thought would be free, is not free itself. It is owned by certain people. And those people have agendas. Some of those agendas is, look, we want an alternative narrative, but it must be alternative up to a point. You can say anything you want, but MOFAYA. I'm a beverage, energy, it's not good for you. Caffeine, yeah, energy drinks, let's drink water, and MOFAYA, hey, whoa. No, don't speak about MOFAYA. So we don't own these platforms, and some of the things we want to say, we cannot say freely because we don't own the platforms. That's the platforms. Then you start going deeper into these platforms are funded by money. Because for a YouTube, for a ChatGPT, for Facebook to exist, they need funding. Who controls the money supply? You start doing the research, and we know some of these families from back in the day, the Medici, the Rothschilds. Obviously in America, there's the people that built America, the Carnegies, the JP Morgans, etc. There are people that control money supply, and they can switch off. They're like, you're free. Say whatever you want, Sbuda. I'm an African, push it ready, what, ngimana abantu bethu, sifuna umhlaba back. You're allowed. The platforms don't delete you, they don't censor you. All of a sudden, your account is frozen. Like the Guptas. Like Tutuzane Zuma, Iqbal, survey. Based on what? And then when you ask questions like, but Glencore has been fined across the world for corruption, why is their account not frozen? Steinhoff and all the execs and all the, why have their accounts not been frozen? That get certain types of treatment. And we're not saying we favor these people. Sivumelana nani. Bonke ba wrong, bonke ba yigebengu. Vala nonke ama account. No, we have to. You realize we don't control these things. And Kanye was poking the bear, rightfully so, whether he wins or loses, whether tomorrow he apologizes or not. But it's what I was saying about Hollywood movies, some of them, that they plant a seed where an intelligent mind has been given enough clues. Mfana, sikhombise something. Now it's up to you now to go and actually seek the truth. Because we can't tell you. Morpheus in the Matrix, red pill, blue pill. I'm showing you just the two different worlds. It's up to you now which one you want to walk into. Do you want to take the blue pill and carry on with, the world is great and we love the police and our government is going to save us and solve all our problems? Or do you want to take the red pill and realize that pharmaceuticals are funded by people with agendas? The idea of getting the land back is not a physical fight, it's a psychological fight, because the only reason you believe that land belongs to someone is because someone told you so. That's all. So Kanye did that. There's a group of people in the world that we are not allowed to question, and I learned this lesson the hard way. And that's why even on Facebook I behave now. Not because Facebook has silenced me.
Oh, okay.
But they have silenced me on their platform.
Yeah.
It's their platform, it's not mine. So mele ngihloniphe. Angikwazi ukufika kaLiope. Ngifike hey phela uSbu uyadakwe ahambe haki ihlahla ngathi uyahlanya umfana la ekhaya. Nje umfana siyakuzwa man kodwa manje yazi ukhuluma ngomfana wala ekhaya. Ngathi awusahlonipha ngathi usuyadelela. So I've learned to respect platforms where they are. I could be invited to an ANC conference. I need to be selective about how I criticize the ANC at their conference. On my platforms, I can say what I want, and they can come back and say, "What Penwell, you can't." You can't tell me in my house what to say. So Kanye poked the bear. There are certain people in this world that we cannot criticize because they have captured the money system. They've captured global media. They've captured what we call the legal system globally. They've captured the finance system through accounting and all those things. And we don't mention them because the algorithms pick up their names. And as long as we don't say their names, even if someone reports, it's like, but there's nothing here. It might be taken down because of whatever, but there are certain people you cannot question. And it was devilish of Kanye to bite the hand that feeds him. Because if I have been captured as Upenwell, and people link me to a Rob Hessoff, they can link me to an AfriForum, they call me a sellout. If I start criticizing people that have apparently captured me and that have made me rich, they can make that money disappear overnight. That's one of the reasons I don't value myself too much in money, because I put myself in a cage. And once you get into that cage, you can't be a free thinker and a free speaker anymore. Because if you do, kusasa kothi uPenwell khona intombazana ayihlukumeza eNewcastle. Bayithola intombazana ivele, ikhale on TV. uPenwell mina wafike ekukhala abantu bathi uPenwell kanti ukhohlakele lo mfana lo. Sambona ukuthi ukhohlakele. Lezi zinto ayishoyo. Uyakhuluma nje mdlapha. Because they can do that. Acting is a, inkabi is 5,000 rand ukubulala umuntu. Inkabi. It's even cheaper to get a girl to come and act and say you did something wrong. And your credibility, I've seen it with so many people, and we don't know if they're innocent or not. We don't know. Your R. Kellys, your Bill Cosbys, etc. We don't know. Your Andrew Tates, asazi because asibazi akusi impintshi zethu asihlali nabo. But kuthatha nje umuntu oyi-one to come and say something. Kanye has made money on platforms that are not owned by black people. He has partnered with companies that are not black owned. And they have allowed him to become a superstar and a billionaire and an innovator and a darling. Because not only have they made him rich, he, with his creativity, has made a lot of them rich, making money from the rest of us. So some of these South African companies that sell a funeral cover, that push your favorite soccer brand, etc., when you look at who is actually making the most money, it's not the people that we think are the heroes. And it's designed like that. So if those heroes, whoever owns the soccer clubs or the whatever companies they may be, when they start saying, hey, kodwa bafethu, yazi ukukhuluma iqiniso, le funeral cover siyiphushayo, na abantu abakhanda inyuku akusithina. And bakhanda inyuku ngani? That person overnight will have his credibility tarnished. And his wealth will be wiped out. Hey, yazi lo mntu inyuku akasa, because you can't speak out against the people that gave you the platform to be rich and wealthy. Some of our politicians, I won't mention names, have been placed in certain spaces and given wealth and game farms and whatever. And they know. Sometimes we are babuga. It's almost like they want to crack. There's a movie by Jordan Peele called Get Out with Daniel Kaluuya. Brilliant movie. You can see on the person's face, Uti, Ametlake are telling me I'm reading a script. I love you guys very much. Please do whatever they tell you guys to do. It's the right thing to do. It's the greatest thing to do. I've also done it. It's a great thing to do. Do it. Do it. Do it. It's the right thing to do, guys. Do it. No, I wasn't paid. This is me and my... You can see that this person is not genuinely being themselves. So Kanye tried to break through that. And maybe he's learning, if he is, the way some of us learned as small as we are through some of these platforms, that there are certain people in the world you can't challenge because you're not big enough. And the people that you claim to be fighting for have been pacified so much through medicine. From when you're a young child, back Jova with certain things that you don't know. The water we drink, don't really know where it comes from. The food we eat with the chemicals. Where you go to school, where you have to recite. A, B, C, don't do that. Sbu, stop that language. I can't hear you. Sbu, so stop it. This is not a class for that. Sorry, ma'am. Every time you try to innovate, there's something wrong with you. Every time you try to be creative and innovative, you're too hyperactive. We need to give you a pill, send you to a therapist and drug you with something. He's too hyperactive. He can't keep quiet. He can't keep still. Why must I be a pacified zombie? When you say something on social media, guys, I'm not really sure you've violated the policies of this platform. Until you become pacified. And Kanye is trying to speak out. And even when he started to speak out, he was put on medicine. He was told that he's mentally ill, etc. Even to this day, no, but we all know Kanye is not mentally okay. And you're like, guys, are you going to show you? And look, I've said this, that you're going to need an invisible cloak if you want to be a savior. When you're saying some superheroes don't need a cape, some superheroes need an invisible cloak. For some people, and we don't know who he is, but Umzegezege might be someone that you know. But he can never show his face because that's when they're going to go for him. Because once you find out who he is and the work he does and the businesses he has, they're going to cancel him. Kanye is out there in the open. The people he is fighting, he's fighting ghosts. Who are these people? Kanye is saying, where? Bambus are even on platforms. But Kanye, give us names. And it's like, come on, man. Do you not see what happened to me? Where did my wealth go? Why can't I speak there? Why can't I do this? You should be going to find them. Why must I give you names? You should be asking yourself, how does Zimbabwe lose its wealth overnight? When we saw they still have gold, they still have lithium, they still have how? You should be, don't ask me. I'm trying to show you that they are trying to silence me, and it's up to you to go and find out who. Find out who owns this platform that canceled me. Find out who controls the money, who controls the stock exchange that said I'm worthless today. Who canceled the deal? Find out who they are and who they work for. Don't come fucking ask me. So that's the situation we have. Find an invisible cloak, whatever it may be. And sometimes that invisible cloak means get off social media for a while. Align yourself with a powerful what. I think someone said this about Andrew Tate. They said, Andrew Tate is very smart. He's got a lot of great ideas. But one of the things you learn in the world is you need allies, powerful allies. Doesn't matter who you are. If your ally is a BRICS, if it's a China, if it's a Russia, if it's a Ukraine, you need allies because there are always people with agendas in the world, and the world is run by gangs, big gangs that don't have big guns. They have big armies with nuclear weapons. And if you're not aligned to certain people who can protect you, it's my boy. I'll speak to him. Listen, just make a video and apologize for what, because some of the people who do business with are not happy. You need allies. You cannot be a lone soldier in this world. Heroes get taken out. Cowards live forever. Your favorite hero that died at age 90, Bani, at some point had to make some compromises because heroes get taken out, boy. So it's just lessons for some of us. And for the people who are saying, Kanye, for me, the question becomes, Kanye is speaking out. You claim to be in solidarity with Kanye. You claim to be in solidarity with Andile Mngxitama. And you're in solidarity with Dr. Umar Johnson. Lauspana corner, are you comfortable to go on social media and point out the evil they're doing in your company? Some of the people around you, are you willing to go on platforms and speak out about the evil they're doing? Yourself, are you willing to say, Ngaqambamanga kwi-affidavit, Ngaqambamanga for NSFAS? Hayi nami vele khona ithende engayithola ngopotsho. Nami khona traffic cop engayigaya you clipper. Are you willing to say, and if you're not, then you need to shut up because it takes a lot to be able to expose yourself like that. And some of these guys will get crucified like Jesus Christ for you, but you won't appreciate them because you're not willing to do the bare minimum. Bantu Biko, Mangaliso Sobukwe, when you look at what they did, and we say, take your rand and buy more fire. Can you do that? Leonte ngani. Ngifuna ukuspanela company, no, ngifuna ukuspanela leadership 2020. Ngifuna ukuspanela uSbuda. I've got a great opportunity here to work here, but if Ubigo said, the mind of the panel said, your labor is adding to your slavery. And we're saying, make the small decisions and you're not willing to. Then shut up, man. Don't be like, you know what? Who can you wrong? He must just, like me, sell out. Because I'll never go on social media and do the things he's doing. But I claim to stand in solidarity with him. You don't. But there are small things you can do. Your rand. Channel your rand in the direction that you feel is right for you and your people. Channel your labor. Because you might be channeling your money. But then you wake up every day to go and serve this company. It's a clash. But abantu awungasathenga Shoprite thenga la. But manje omama bethu basebenza Shoprite baba. Bangaspani. Omama mele matshele mama sebenza la kodwa on the weekend ibupusha la yamakota. Mama nje ububhaka la. Fundisa izingane zakhe ekhaya ukuthi nabo babhaka ezaba izinko. Njoba nifry inkukhu la, fundisa intwana yakho ukuthi kusevusa nawo i-franchise yakho la eceleni. So that when we have to switch off, sesi strong, sesiyakwazi ukukhanda ibhamu, sesiyakwazi ukwenza lokhu. Sasa makuthiwa like what's happened in Russia, shout out to Putin. What's happened in Russia, what's happened in North Korea. Try to sanction me. Why is he not losing his wealth? Why is he not going to the International Criminal Court? It's violations against human rights. Barack Obama, George Bush, why have they never been called? But look at the millions you've killed. Why not? It's because they've bulletproofed themselves. If anything was doing at Germany, try to sanction us and see where you're going to get your power from. South Africa, no guys, go alternative. That's the world we live in. But some of these things are too big for us, and we need to bring them back home. How do we take care of ourselves and our families?
And that's the next point I wanted to get into. I just landed in South Africa and I get reminded. hardly an hour ngiqeda ukufika.
Welcome back home.
Mama
Welcome
mavelo
back.
wangilakha wathi welcome back home. and then I'm like, wow, izobuya nini? And then iyabuya, I think 2 hours later or 4 hours later, I think. But it only comes back for another 4 hours and then kick again. And then I'm like, Atuma, it's been like this. It's been like this, and there's reports of this is just going to be permanent at least for the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking about the deals that our citizen number one.
Is it raining?
No, it's not raining.
Okay.
President-
I just wanted to make sure. Here's what my sounds. Sorry.
Oh, okay. President Cyril Ramaphosa. Some of the deals that have been spoken about in the US. I mean, I heard even President Joe Biden speak about us having to go the energy route as South Africans. And then I'm hearing about us having to stop using coal. But countries like, as you mentioned, Germany, Letanla,
And the UK.
and the UK, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, this affects where the country is going to go in the future, moving forward.
Yeah.
And then I'm listening to some politicians speak out. I listened to an online interview with one of the leaders from the EFF. I think it was Mr. Shibambo, I think. Sharing his opinions about the dissatisfaction of the president steering us towards the energy direction. And I'm also like, how? Kanti lento le energy isuke ya announce phesheya yaqala
Yes.
before thina sitshelwa la ekhaya.
Melubige.
And nabantu la
Ubasi.
ekhaya, they were never even contacted on the ground. Siyatshelwa.
Yes.
So kuyenzakala kanje.
Yes.
Kodwa amalahle wethu wona as minerals,
Our wealth.
our wealth, we're going to have to stop using them. They're going to have to be going overseas, and we've got electricity problems. What does this mean? Is this another form of capture from the higher powers, from the West? What is going on?
Umekchi, when they came back, I don't know if they were in Manchester, but on podcast, he'd always be like, when I was in the UK, and it became this joke.
Yeah.
Yo, when I was in the UK.
When I was in America.
So I wanted to ask, when you were in the US, how did it feel, Faith, to have power? Something that we took for granted, Ekasi. How did it feel? Not just power, but if you can paint a picture, because I know people follow you on various platforms, but just for our purposes on Mkhukhu and the Hustlers Corner, how did it feel being in a first world foreign country, just in terms of, uyasebenza, nezinye izinto mhlambe ziyasebenza, banawo amateksi ukhomba phezulu ngetown. How did it feel being in America, for those of us who have never been there?
I watched the beauty of the country, operations, and everything. Transportation system works very well. There's order in how people travel, how people drive on the road. Yes, there's chaos here and there.
Yeah.
Etc. Or whatever. But things work well.
Yeah.
Buildings, the skyscrapers are tall.
Sure.
Electricity is on point. TV channels have got multiple channels. Internet everywhere. Mabhasini, even nasematrainini, internet igcwele yonke indawo. The country works well. The country is beautiful. But mina, in my mind, there's always a thing. The country was built on the back of slaves.
And genocide of the
And
Native
genocide.
Americans.
And those were the natives who looked like you and I.
Yeah.
And I always go back into respecting our people more and just the greatness that we possess. That this country that we call the first world country that looks this beautiful, this amazing, was actually built on the backs of the labor of black people.
Yes.
It's them that made it look this nice. And then at the back of my mind, I'm like, why can't we do this, Tina, for ourselves? Ekhaya? Why can't we have leaders that are able to get us to do this ourselves? Ngoba la izinto ziyasebenza e-country inhle, as much as it was slaves and abantu abamnyama bayenzile lento. Thina sihlulwa yini ekhaya? The country is beautiful. America is amazing. There's all sorts of different cultures there. I spend most of my time in New York City. New York City is an international city. It's got people from Asia, people from Europe, people from Africa, all over the continent. One of the most well-traveled African country, or let me say, some of the most well-traveled people in this continent come from Nigeria.
Yeah.
There's Nigerians everywhere, bro.
Boom.
There's Ghanaians, There's people from the Congo. There's people from Sudan. There's everybody in New York City.
Yeah.
The energy is buzzing. Little was I aware of what the lockdown had done to me. Because once I got to New York, I just started absorbing the energy and just the spirit. There's something that city does to you because it's a world city. And everybody's there and a lot of people are there for money. And you also get to understand the same way nasila iGoli abantu baphuma eBloemfontein, baphuma eLimpopo, baphuma eKZN, baphuma eNorthwest, bazosebenza la iGoli. When it's December time, people go back home.
Sure.
It's the same in New York. Everybody who's there, they're from all over the world. Kodwa abantu bazele laphana bazele imali.
Sure.
And mabayenza bayithumele back ekhaya. The Africans that are there, the Ghanaians, the Nigerians, the Zimbabweans, a lot of them, they are there to make money and they are building back home.
Yeah.
So if uzogqwala nje isiganga utlasasanka mashi utlale elfathi le utlale everywhere, but you're not building back home for when you are older, for when you retire, for your children and your children's children and your current family, then you are messing around. You're just running around and just spending money and throwing money away. Yeah. Because that's not what a lot of people are in that American country for. Sure. A lot of them are there to extract that wealth. That's why they call it the land of the milk and honey. Yeah. Whatever idea you might have, it's going to fly in America. Whatever it is, it's going to fly. As I was saying to you earlier, I was just playing at gigs, people are already throwing dollars at me. I'm like, this is an amazing sign. Bro, why aren't you making these dollars? Because I'm like, I'm playing a 2-hour set, the same 2-hour set that I play in Limpopo, the same 2-hour set that I play in Cape Town, in Joburg, in Durban. I'm using the same amount of energy. But the rewards
multiplied
from where I come from, they're 18 times more.
Jeez.
So it makes sense for me to push my labor here. Yeah. Because I'm getting paid 18 times more. Yeah. And my brothers, Abu Kofi, Abu Trevor, and everybody else, they saw it earlier. And they've been doing this for quite some time. And one of the things that I love about people like Unati, Black Coffee, and shout outs to him, is that as much as he makes money in other currencies, he's investing his money back home. Yes. I know that he invested in a company like Yoko. Not only Yoko, I know other startups that he invested in. Sure. And a whole lot of other things that are beautiful that he is empowering or investing his monies in. Yeah. And I think that's a smart way of hustling when you're in a country like America. Be there for the money. Don't be there to fall in love with it because it's not your country. Your country
it probably doesn't love
and
you.
It's not your home. And anything can happen also. Yeah. You can't let your guard down. I get told things like, even no muhamba kwezinye indawo man, kuya ngokuthi ugqoke kanjani. Sure. The more decent you look, the more you are less likely to experience problems like from abantwini abanjengamaphoyisa kanjalo. Kodwa the more you are in some hoodie and those types of things, anything can happen. True. Those things happen anytime. Sure. But I'm one of those people, and I'm always led by the Spirit. I never have fear. Sure. Like I can think so I don't go there with that mindset because I also see some people comment online. It's like I'm exploring
Black
the
lives
world.
matter.
You know? Yeah. I'm exploring the world, man. But for me it's beautiful. It's got a lot of opportunities. We need to explore it. We need to set up systems there. We need to make money in dollars. And as much as some of us, it's also a smart way to still live in South Africa and exploiting the internet because the internet pays you in dollars. You don't necessarily have to move to America. Sure. You can still make money in dollars while you're still here at home. Yeah. And it's even better here at home because your, especially in South Africa, lifestyle is more affordable. I say to people who own 1 or 2 bedroom apartments in New York City who are paying about $3,000, $4,000 a month, with that amount of money, you can, in South Africa, you can live in a mansion, you can drive 2 German cars, or you can live in a beautiful, decent house in South Africa with a swimming pool, with 4 or 5 bedrooms. You can drive a beautiful German car, and you can even start a business with this $5,000, $4,000 a month that you're paying in rental, like in New York City.
At an exchange rate of $1 is to 18 Rand, $3,000 a month would be 54,000 Rand a month.
That's a 1-bedroom. The more further away you are outside of New York City, the more things are a little bit more affordable. People who live here in Johannesburg know that the closer you are to Sandton City, the more expensive it is, and the smaller the spaces become.
Yes.
But the more you go a little bit outside, Boma Rodeport, Boma Eguruleni, even just here, even still in the north, Boma Fourways, Boma Broad Acres,
Sure.
your space now gets a little bit bigger. You get more for the value of your money.
Yeah.
It's the same thing in America. In America, it's expensive to live there, especially when you're coming from South Africa. For bona, because bakhulele khona, 5,000 bayibona kuyi 5,000.
Sure.
Kodwa mina ngisebenza ngale ngqondo yase South Africa ngoba nangiswipe noma nangithenga something lapha nesitolo. I-SMS iyaphuma from ekhaya ukuthi hey mfowethu. Wena ungayibona lento ukuthi ugibele Uber from la eBrooklyn ukuya eManhattan, and then you paid about what? $20-something. What is there? $23?
Yeah.
$25? Sure. How much is that in rent? That's like almost 5 clip.
Yeah.
Just to get like one trip. Ubuya via, that's another one. So when I'm saying this itimela, ngene ngaphansi.
Sure.
But then you want it to make sense why you are there.
Yes.
You can't just be there for the fun of it, because you're kumbuz in New York. Yes. Ngelanga nje na uhlala. You're in South African rents. I actually, shout out to DJ Sbu Socks. I had lunch with him and his girlfriend. He's been in New York. He's been enjoying himself. And he was telling me about some incredible things that he's up to.
Sure.
I won't say on camera because it's his things. I'll give him the chance to announce them when he's ready. But he was just telling me of some of the things that he's up to in America. And it's a beautiful thing that he's there to create things so there can be systems for him to make money.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make sense for you to live there and just be there, NJ.
Yeah.
Unless you are retired or unless you are very wealthy, then you can live there.
Yeah.
Or unless usebenza lapha na uyapatala in some sort of way. But to just be there, NJ, uzula, it's not what I mean. Even personally, it's not what I was there for.
Yeah.
I was there for different opportunities. I was there communicating with some American friends, linking me up with the American government, speaking to the FDA to get some approval for our products to be exported to the US. I was there exploring some business opportunities, creating relationships. The music is an easiest way to maneuver anywhere, because then you get to travel at other people's expense. You get to stay in beautiful hotels at other people's expense. You get paid to be in some places. But for me now, a lot of these trips that I was doing and these gigs that I was doing, I wasn't literally making money because, number one, I'm still not legally allowed to make money in America. Although it's an opportunity to open up a new market for my products, for myself, to grow my brand, to create new relationships, etc. A lot of it was not money driven.
Okay.
I was not fixated on, if you don't pay me 10 Rand, I'm not showing up.
Sure.
People will just hit me up. We see you in America. Are you willing to come to our venue?
Yeah.
We don't have that much. This is how much we can afford. And then we can also afford you 3 tickets to the hotel, flights, etc., and some PDMs for Ukaula.
Sure.
And this is a little money we have. Can you do this? If you can't, we hope you don't get insulted. It's not a lot, but this is, what we can afford. Mina ngengqondo yami yase South Africa, I'm there to hustle, I'm there to create new relationships. And learn mali for bona imali encane, but for mina ngangicabanga imali yasekhaya, I'm like,
What's a PDM?
it's not bad. A per diem, like ukuthi,
PDM.
yeah, ukuthi ukhona ukuspend uthenga igawulo.
Okay.
So
Stipend sokudla.
yeah, so gawula nje. But even naleyo fee abazokunikeza yona futhi, for me, I saw it as an opportunity to stay a little bit longer, pushing my own business interests.
Sure.
So the little money that we would make with my manager would be spent back into booking of Airbnbs or staying a little bit longer in America to continue doing all of these things. It's a process of about 6 to 12 weeks to get this registered with the FDA, which is a body just like SAPS, for them to vet your products and see whether they are safe for Americans to consume.
Sure.
Before you can start exporting to America.
Sure.
And October, we are via about November. As much as other opportunities are opening up, we're like, okay, we hope we're going to get this FDA thing before the end of this year. About November, again. December. How? About end of December, again. I'm like, no, let me stay a little bit longer. And then luckily, eventually, and shout out to my sister Farai, congratulations. We eventually got our FDA approval for MOFAYA.
Yes.
And then now there's a gate that is just opened to be able to export to America and have a business there in America. in the form of MOFAYA selling. So, for me, it's a win. And
Congrats
not only
to you and the entire MOFAYA team.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. For me, it's not a win for us, and we appreciate that. For me, it's another step closer to South African young people believing we can create things here that can go global.
Yeah.
For me, when we started the project, Nosipiwe, we called it a protest project. Intentionally and consciously, we knew we're going to protest with this project. We're going to be disruptive with this project. We're going to show other young people that actually it can be done. That's why failure is not in our vocabulary. We even spoke about that from the beginning. You need to remember you and I are going to be joined by the hip for the rest of our lives, because this is a generational mission that we're about to embark on. A lot of people don't even know what this black can represents. It's black because, black is a color that represents boldness. It's a color of strength. And we are black people from the continent of Africa, a continent that is full of melanin. Of the melanated people. That's our original flavor, and our first can was black, and it still is black. When you read the MOFAYA can at the back, it says, MOFAYA, let your mind breathe a new fire for passion and rise beyond the ashes of your limitations. Ignite your mind with countless possibilities. Other people's brands are focused towards extreme sports, etc., etc. Tina, from the beginning, we knew this is a project to ignite young people's minds.
Sure.
And we took this black color and we put a coat of arms to honor the generation of 1956. Eyabo Mama, who marched to the parliament against the past laws. This drink is also inspired by the events that happened in 1976 of young people being sick and tired of being taught in Afrikaans. And they made a change forever for the rest of the history of this country in South Africa. Those two events are the two most important events that inspired this brand. When you look at this flame, it's that burning desire that says, I'm burning with passion. I'm burning with making my dreams come true. I'm burning with ideas. I've got a burning desire to want to achieve things, and I will achieve by, I don't want to use the word hook or crook, but dark or blue. Whatever happens, in my mind, I've already achieved. Just in this form of life physically, time has to catch up because we know that we're going to get there. So we have to ignite young people's minds. And then we put the gold color around it. We say the continent that they say is the dark continent is actually rich with minerals. That's why you see the gold all over the black can. That's why you see the flame has got that coat of arms. To honor that generation of 1976, the young people of that time are now Abu Baba way to they've grown. But they're in their 50s, they're in their 60s, they're in their 70s. The fight that you guys fought, Tina, we took the baton. And then we are marching forward with this. At some point, when he feels it's time to rest, we would have taken the baton this far. And the young people that are watching us online right now, and they've already started taking the baton to higher levels that we couldn't reach. But we've ignited that mind because we've started that struggle and we've inspired that movement and that spirit of entrepreneurship in South Africa. And that's what this can represents. And the name MOFAYA, and why not F-I-R-E? Because the F-A-Y-A can be pronounced in any language.
Sure.
Whether you're in the Caribbean, whether you're in Jamaica, whether you're in Spain, whether you're speaking it in English, you're speaking it in Sitsonga, you're speaking it in Sepedi, Sizulu, Xhosa, MOFAYA gets pronounced the same way. MOFAYA, fire, MOFAYA, burning desire, it's the fire. And there's the 4 elements of life. Umoya, amanzi, inhlabathi, umlilo. And the fire, you know what it represents. And that's what encouraged and inspired us to start this thing. And we're starting to see it break through walls, opening up the FDA approval, getting just that. You did say that major league gig it opened up a whole lot more than just for Sbu. Trevor Noah's success in the US, it opened up a whole lot more than just Trevor Noah. Black Coffee's global success, Tusombedu's success, it's not their success. It's all of our success. It's all of our young people's success. And all of those moves that they make and all of those global thinking, that the mind that they keep stretching from us, That's why I wrote a book called Billionaires Under Construction. I was not meaning it in a form of billionaires monetary. I was basically trying to stretch that mind and getting people to think that big. That's why you'd hear the billionaire name come a lot of time from Jay-Z's raps, from Kanye's raps. They manifested it. They've been saying it for many years. I've been saying it for many years, so much so that it's now normal. I'm starting to hear people speak about Trevor, about Black Coffee, being billionaires or becoming billionaires soon. I'm even starting to hear about Casper Nyovest, speaking about being billionaires. I'm starting to hear more young people and entrepreneurs believing, yeah, man, what is that? For me, I don't look at money. I look at the abundance in thinking. We are stretching young people's minds to start believing they are worth more and they're actually meant for greatness. Guys, let's think big. Let's do these big moves. So for me, it's been very humbling, the experience of being in the US over the past couple of months. I'm humbled with the gate that has just opened. I'm not going to sit down with my team and just celebrate that. Remember, everything that you celebrate is an old dream already. So when somebody out there celebrates something you've achieved,
Sure.
It's just the physical life is catching up.
Yeah.
But mentally, you achieved that a long time ago.
Brilliant.
So we've already achieved global success a long time ago with this brand. From when we started it, when we were sitting down, I remember the meeting we had right in the middle of Candy Square, Echozi, somewhere around there. And then we had another follow-up meeting at Hyde Park. Clearly, no pure stock business. At that time already, that achievement was already made in our minds that this will be a global brand. This is not just a South African brand. And you and I both know, once you go into America, the same way strategy we've used in conquering Johannesburg for our brand to start spreading to South Africa and the rest of the other neighboring countries in South Africa, for our brand to be as, to experience this amazing growth that we've been experiencing, and thanks to your support, I look at it the same. You get into America, you don't have to just focus on one city, focus in New York City. The same way you focused in Johannesburg, focus in New York City. Do campaigns there, do initiatives there, speak to store owners there. Nigerians are killing it in New York, bro. I was eating Nigerian food at a Nigerian food spot that cooks food for Uber drivers, for 222 deliveries.
Yes.
Those guys, they eat at that spot because for the value of money, they get a lot of food in that spot. And then I was asking the shop owner, why do you open 24 hours? And why I came at 3 in the morning? I come at 7 in the morning. Like, it's always full.
Yeah.
And it's because they're Uber drivers and they're taxi drivers. That's why this place is always full 24 hours. So I'm like, so you're literally printing money 24 hours and you're from Nigeria? Yeah, I just came here to New York City about 4 or 5 years ago. We found the spot with my wife. We raised some money to hire the spot. We started with a container at a corner, just like how you'd see the Mexicans do it. And then we moved into the spot and we authentically do African food. We do Nigerian food. That's why it's always packed like this. I'm like, wow, you are selling these energy drinks. And what is this? Energy drink? Oh, Arizona. Oh, if I can bring an energy drink from South Africa, would you put it in your store at what? An African energy drink, say no more. Bring it right now. Say no more. I got a chance the following day to grab it from my hotel. I went back. I was like, here's a can. Put it in your fridge. Let it get cold. I gave him a 6-pack and then try it out. I don't have to try it out, my brother. I told you already. Bring this thing. When is this thing coming to America? I'm like, I already have one client right here. It's possible for us to do this thing. I'm getting a DM from Likau. I'm seeing him as traveling Europe. And he's like, Sbuda, I'm thinking also of setting up there in New York. Yeah. Boy. I'm sitting, I'm having lunch with Skinny Sbu Socks with his woman. I obviously can't say what he's up to. He's like, Sbuda Grootman, I'm setting up in New York. I'm like, yo, Nati, we've just gotten an FDA approval. Trevor Noah has showed us that this thing is possible. Let's do it in business. And I'm gonna say to you, all you South Africans, the companies that you're starting, stop limiting yourself and thinking, no, I'll only just focus here in South Africa. Flip and start global businesses.
Singisaba nokukhuluma, you've said everything.
Should I drop the mic?
We have to.
You guys have to get your visas. Let's go.
The thing is, my head is spinning, man, because I'm thinking of all the things you're saying. I'm going to try and be brief. The energy you're speaking about in New York is what led my brother to move from Grahamstown to Joburg. I had a fish and chip shop close to Gandhi Square called Penwell's Fish and Chips. where you guys had your first meeting. My brother came to visit. He came to the shop and he decided to walk around Jozi, looking at people selling. And he came back to the shop hyped. He's like, Feto, I need to be here. I'm like, what's happening? He's like, no, Feto, the energy on the streets. I'm like, yeah, he's like, angibonanga lutho. Ngizwa nje energy. Ngiphuma la eBree eNoord empty. Wonke umuntu uyaphatha ni-sex bamba like say MOFAYA. He's like, I need to be here. And he's here. And you're very right that we need to have a plan and a vision. You can't just go to a gold mine, just go and live inside the mine shaft. The goal must be to go and mine the gold, send it home, work the gold, and use that gold to build something real. And now I'm kind of feeling guilty because I know you do a lot of charity work at Tembisa under a slave. I've done some charity work back at home in Newcastle. But I know I need to do more. I know I need to do more in Grahamstown and Makhanda because that's another place that needs help and it was my home for a while. We need to travel. Traveling is such a game changer. Ngathi abantu banga sacrifice. I know usunemoto usahlupheka.
It's a choice. Angakabi na imoto no.
Okay. So people need
ngivanga NP200 van. Bar monna ke van.
People need to sacrifice the cars for the travel because the value you'll get from the travel can multiply the cars. When people see you walking, I'm catching the Gau train to go to Oratambo to travel the world. If you want to ask what my car is, maybe it's a plane because I'm constantly traveling.
And I also think that comes from being a traveler.
Yeah.
This thing of having, not necessarily having to need to have a car.
Great Jabesi said the same thing. Uber's everywhere because he's constantly traveling. We need to travel, we need to explore, we need to open our minds. The story of MOFAYA, which you've told before, needs to be told over and over and over again until it sticks, until the next kid can explain exactly the black and the gold and the coat of arms and the... We started off with the question of what do I think of the energy deals in South Africa? And then when I was in the USA...
kicked in. And then I went on and on.
We've got a great responsibility and yeah, as you say, you listen to the universe and to God and they must manifest through you and then you must light other people's candles and you must move.
And you must show up.
And you must show up. Shout out to Skinny Sbu. Shout out to Likau. Shout out to Theo. I know he said he was going global last year as well. Shout out to everyone who's pushing and not just pushing, but pushing and coming to fetch South Africans. And if not fetch South Africans, just be an inspiration and help us in various ways. We need to go global. This is the time. We said this last year. Some of the business people I met last year were saying the universe is conspiring to send a message to say, look, there were prayers that were made by our ancestors and we are meant to be the manifestation of those prayers. Bekhala, senzeni na. Senzeni na. Kanye West, you put me on her. Senzeni na were our ancestors' prayers. And the answers is senzeni na.
He made you.
It's your time to shine and to light your fire. And I thought of Umlilo and the Bushfire Festival in Eswatini, and you're reminding me that I wanted to bushfire, more fire. I started creating Umlilo Festival in Tetier at the family farm, and I guess this is the universe saying, hey Baba, Aban Bagina saying, hey, keep going. You mentioned your book, Billionaires Under Construction, which Baba, there's still many books you still need to write. You need to travel. So the squatters and the hustlers out there that listen to us, and shout out to the chillers that also follow us as well. They're not the only people that get healing. You spoke about affirmation between us. We get affirmation. We inspire each other. We're listening. It's not just to them, it's to us as well. We say, guys, umsebenzi mningi. Less brown, live full, die empty. Don't leave anything in the can. The can must be empty. Le can leline energy phakathi. Go juice up, njengo Popeye, or if you got spinach. Juice up and go let your fire burn. I guess when we sit together, because one of the things I want us to touch on, when we sit again, we're obviously going to discuss the business of Mkhukhu and maybe my vision and your vision, the Hustlers Corner and your vision, some of the work Paul Mnis is doing as well. We need to speak about our country and the politics, because I've got so many thoughts around that, which some of it maybe we'll discuss the energy of which, again, it's a calling to say, Hendrik van der Bijl, and it may not have been him, Van der Bijl is credited for Eskom. Oh, mama bethu, mhlambe thina siyakhala senzeni na ukuthi siphile ebumnyameni. And our children that are going to study engineering, senzeni na, go build the Escoms of the future that are either using coal or alternative. We need to take on the challenges. One of the things, and this is a message to Black children and Black Africans, you guys no longer knows what it means to have a leader that serves you. There's a new Orania, north of Pretoria, called Kleinfontein. This one guy is almost racist, because the Orania says, look, we're an Afrikaans, cultural, we're not racist. Kleinfontein is literally saying, Aspafuna Otaki here. Otaki ba destroyer. They've got a bust of Hendrik van Verwoerd there, the architect and the father of apartheid. And one of the guys that is the ambassador of the town says, look, we don't support apartheid. It's like what Hendrik Verwoerd represents for us is a leader who put Afrikaans people first and who fought for Afrikaans independence and wanted to see Afrikaans people rise. Can a Black child today say, here is a leader that is doing everything in his power to fight for the Black child? They might be called a racist, he might be called a tribalist, he might be called a whatever. But he is a leader saying, I'm not fighting any of you other people. I'm just putting the Black child first. So if you see me at the United Nations, when you see me at the World Economic Forum, when you see me discussing coal agreements and alternative energy, when you see us signing trade deals, the first thing I always say when I sit with these people is, what can you do for the Black child in Africa? Because that's who I'm representing. I'm not here representing South African interests, and I'm not here representing what money can we. I'm here to say there are Black children in Africa that sent me to come and sit here. And I'm asking you, China, I'm asking you, America, I'm asking you, Europe. Give me a message that I'll go back so that when I come back and I say, guys, here's a loan or here's alternative energy, I can articulate to you, guys, njoba ngiyiphathile lento bathe, and we will hold them to account. And ngitshela nina so that you know, ukuthi ngithunywe yini. Ngingavele ngithi thuma mina, kodwa manje ngithi kodwa manje sisebumnyameni. Amabhizinisi awile, abantu abasebenzi siphila ngama social grant. Uthunywe ubani? Njoba ningithumile bafethu na amabhizinisi. When was the last time you had a leader that is in every single podcast episode wears proudly Black and proudly South African? He doesn't just speak it and then wear international brands. He wears it, he walks the talk. Akacelwanga, asimthumanga in New York, wacelwa for igig, but what you on for myself, ngizoyithuma mina. Ukuthi intwana njengoba iphusha MOFAYA igqoka ama overall eSouth Africa. One day bazobona ibillboard at Times Square in New York. Ukuthi guys ngenzela nina. Ukuthi njengoba uthi ekusele le brand ise New York baba ungazongitshele uphuzani. Uphuza lento leya la international brand baba yodaki. Ntwana sethembisa. We are not doing enough as Black people in particular. And I get called names. And I'm happy to be called names because I knew that this is going to be my Jesus Christ calling in life, where I'm going to be crucified for making moves that people don't understand. Because if they do understand them, I may not achieve my ends. They need to not understand them, and they need to hopefully cherish me later on. Like I said with the clues. We need to, as Black children in particular, ask ourselves, what is my mission for my family, for my community? I may not get to New York. I may not get to Johannesburg. But with the little bit that I have, what is my MOFAYA? Where am I going to mine gold? What am I doing to send it back? And we've spoken about Black tax, not for consumption, but for creation. Mangithumela imali ekhaya, ngithumela imali yokuthi ngicela invest. Mangibuyele ekhaya ngiyobafundisa ukuthi yazi eGoli kwenziwa kanje. ENew York kwenziwa kanje. So that my family, when I come back, is showing me the fruits of not a Black tax, a Black investment. I was rewatching an interview I think it was Gerald Mwandiambira, who's a financial planner, who was saying, when you look at the financial products that are sold to a black child versus other races, they sell you products that are not about investment. They sell you products to celebrate your death, not the life of those that you leave behind. Which, thanks to my father, I now have a startup. I can start a business. All you have is my father left me funeral cover, which a casket. When you look at Jewish people, Muslim people in South Africa, their burials are humble. They have small tombstones because they know that the bulk of our wealth is in the living, not in the dying, which you guys have been sold. So what is our legacy and what are we doing? And even in the flames that we're being ignited with, how are we taking our fire and we're lighting the next child? And a lot of the work, and I've seen it now and I understand, like a Kanye West, a lot of the guys that are doing a lot of the work, you will not see them. There's something, I think it's called a sponsor in business, where there are people that are fighting for you in boardrooms you can't enter in ways that you will never know. So that the day you're like, no, they picked me because of my brilliance. No. You and your ancestors were always brilliant. You just didn't know. But there were people in those boardrooms that made sure that you're never seen. And there are people in those boardrooms that no matter what happens, it's like, no, Tsatsan Lentwana le. Fagan Lentwana le ukolis. He's a brilliant rugby player. He's a great role model for South Africa. He's the embodiment of the Rainbow Nation and Nelson Mandela's dream. There are certain spaces with Siya Kolisi you will never know of, where the things he's saying and the things he's doing, the day you come, they say, hey, South Africa, Springbok, Siya Kolisi. And it's like, how did you get to play for a European or Japanese or whatever country? No, Antoine, it's because I'm brilliant. Some of us will say, no, well done. But some of us know there were people that fought for you before you even knew. Before you even knew. And the question becomes, now that you're there, in Japan, in America, in Europe, now that you're there, what are you doing for the next generation to make their lives easier and turn us? Africa is not our home. The whole world is our home. Munna Mukwena founded a gallery called Gallery Momo. It's actually here where we're close to. First renowned black-owned art gallery. And Munna said they created townships and Otaki must not settle Ekasi. Because those places were not created for us in the way that you think. You've sold out. They were created to confine our minds. This whole country, this whole land is ours. Don't confine yourself to Africa. The whole world is yours. Go to New York. Go mine the gold. Go home, build home. But colonize New York as well. Make that your home. And be like, oh, you live in... I think in New York, there's places called Little Italy. Where's the Little Niger? The Little South Africa? You're like, no, I have a home in New York. Lak prawa koni vors, lasitla koni piltong, laspuza koni MOFAYA, lak kuma koni piano. And they have taught me the tricks of how to make $1, turn it into 18 Rand and plow back home. But then to get to America and still be able to live on 1 Rand in America where other people are living on 18 Rand because the cost of living is so high. Of which we've seen it from some of our African brothers doing it in South Africa. Where they come here as Nigerians and they move into a small house. Yes, it's not fancy, but he's paying the same rent he would pay if he was struggling somewhere else. Because they know Bazoyanzanla. So Njoba, like you said everything, and I'm just regurgitating some of the vibrations that are coming out from what you were saying. But we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of things to discuss, and we have a lot of minds to ignite because we won't achieve a lot. Sbuda doesn't know how to make cans, guys, just so you know. He doesn't know how to copyright and make font. There are other people that do other things. He doesn't drive, he track. He's not driving it. There are so many of you out there who have got unique skills that need to collaborate and combine with our skills to create this world, this utopia that we want.
You've got a parent. You've got another parent. Your mother has got 2 parents. Your father comes from 2 parents. they also the same. Come from 2 other parents, those other ones come from 2 other parents, and those other ones come from 2 other parents. Uma bekubingelela ngesizulu ulobela uwedwa while you're alone, somebody will say, sanibonani.
How?
Sanibonani. Awusuwedwa. You're not alone. You've got over 44,170,000 genes of people in you. All of those people that I'm talking about, that family tree that you come from, umama wakho, ubaba wakho, naye unomama wakhe, unobaba wakhe, naye lo unomama wakhe, unobaba wakhe. Uma usuyibala lento uyemuva, and I'm just only talking not even 20 generations back. I'm talking less than 20 generations. Dangithi 44,170,000 genes in you. Because the world has been existing for millions of years. All of those people who gave birth to other 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 people all the way down until you were born are within you.
So is God the source.
You're never alone.
So is God the source.
Because labo bantu bazwa lo uNkulunkulu nabo self umuntu kaNkulunkulu wena kodwa bonke labo bantu bala awusiwedwa. You're never alone. So why are you scared? Why are you scared to create things? Why are you scared to start things? Why are you scared when you're even walking? Never be scared. When you get scared, ninja. Uyibhekile ulokhe naye eye to eye contact. For the first few seconds akwenzakali next. Ibona wena ukuthi wenzani. Once wathuka yakufila immediately.
Yes.
Ukuthi uthukile lo. Yakungena. And then wenzani uyajika uyabaleka. But if awuthuka uyayibona iyavela nayo uyakubona uyayihlekela nje nawe uvela uyayilanda uyibrush ekhanda ayikulumi idlala nawe. Umhlaba unjalo. Nawuthuka unikeza lento le isitha sakho noma the whatever you might be facing more power. Kodwa uma ungathuki uvibrate kulama genes agcwele kuwena ay over 40 million noNkulunkulu wakho. Uma ungathuki i-energy yaleso sitha nayo self iyayehla. You've already conquered isitha. Ukuyabona naseseyintwana bathi shayanani kamankomane.
Yes.
Le diploma yi ngizokushaya wena sana. Ngizokushaya wena sana. Ngizokushaya wena sana. Ngaqeda lapho bese kuzwakala i1 idophi inhlabathi phansi. Iyenza kanje. Ozoshaya le inhlabathi iqala la is the one who's meant to throw the first punch. If you hesitate, you've already lost the fight. The fight is done. It's the same thing even in the boxing ring. Mike Tyson says it. Atnangzwakala ngizoma nawe kanje bayibiza ukuthi yini head to head. Sizosondelana sibhekane kanje. Athi ngiyayifila energy yakho, ngiyakufila nokuthi uthukile. Athi already lapho sengiyakufila ukuthi sengikushayile. Singakangeni nokungena eringini because ngiyakunukela, ngiyakufila ukuthi uthukile. Uthukile son, sengikushayile. That's where it starts. It's in the mind. Once you hesitate, once you vibrate with fear, you're already done. You've already lost the fight. So the key is to vibrate higher. The key is to have more confidence in yourself. The key is ukuthola that power, that source, obhilivela kuyona wena. Ukuthi ubhilive kuyona ukuthi that power, other people would call it the universe, is conspiring to make you win. That which you think of and you speak and you put in the work. Already the universe is at, before you even put in the work, the fact that you're starting to speak it, the universe is already at work. Those words are already out there at work, conspiring to make things positively work for you. Remember, everything that happens to you, it's happening for you, for the goodness of you. So basically, uNkulunkulu is in your favor. The universe is in your favor. Phuma kuwena. Wo decide ayikwenzani ukuthuka. Once wathuka, you're already defeated. No fear. There is no feeding of fear at all. Now, when they talk about demons or they talk about other beings that feed off of other people's energies, they feed off of the people, only the ones who vibrate with fear, who are scared. But those who are not scared, they stand tall and nothing comes to them. That's how Kanye West akhona untshela ukuthi noma ngakhuluma nenonsense ayikhulumayo akahambi nama-bodyguard wenzani lo muntu uyayithemba. Uma khuluma ngoNkulunkulu kusho ukuthi no. I look at him from a distance and I'm like, wow, he understands it. You must understand it. You must understand yourself. You're too great. Greater than you can ever think. So start vibrating that way.
When I was in America, I think this is when, this is why we missed Sbu so much. And I think this is why you guys have missed us so much. To all the virtual squatters, to all the hustlers, to everyone who subscribes, to all our paying members, thank you so much for joining. We're going to be giving you a whole lot more content this year, a whole lot more education. And I think, as we said, we still have so much more to discuss, but welcome back home, Simba. Welcome back home. And good luck with the rest of your travels. And please keep visiting us. And maybe the challenge is for me and you that even while you are away, we try and keep these conversations going, whether it's online or in some other platform, because all the people I meet out there, and shout out to all of you that come up to me, that speak to me, that ask about Sbu, that thank us for the content, whether Uspana Estol or somewhere, whether Shau Petrol somewhere, whatever you do, you guys come up to me and it reminds me of how powerful this work we're doing and how powerful the work you're doing. I always thank you guys, because this is just our job. You're out there. This is the virtual Mkhukhu. This is the Hustler's Corner. This is your home to learn from, to suck from, and then it's up to you what you do with this. Santanda Bafetu, please tune into every episode on all our platforms. I've got a few, Sbuda's got a few, and we'll keep giving you more. More fire. More fire.
Good to be
more
back,
fire.
guys. Missed you. Shout out to all the new friends that I've made overseas, the guys that are starting to follow us, and shout out to everybody who's been asking about Penyo overseas. And I did promise you guys that I will be bringing him also with me on my travels in the future as soon as he gets his visa sorted. And we'll definitely be creating international content for you as well. Because as we're saying, we're just not meant to be a Mapene Plus. We're meant to go and explore other cultures as well. So we also come to give you guys content that we feel can be exclusive and it can be beautiful in building you, in encouraging you, and inspiring you to become a better person as well by thinking bigger than you're already thinking, because you're much more greater than you can ever think. Thank you.